Good morning. It's me, Louisa, with a naked face because I think it's important to empower ourselves with the fact that this is just what we look like. This is our face, and we got to proceed with the day. This video I think is sooner than any of the others I've ever done because I got a question last night. I actually got 2 questions last night, and I went to bed thinking about them, and I woke up thinking about them. And I wanted to address at least one right now, and that is the question was, and I'm just going to paraphrase, and I also want to just thank the person who asked because I just think that's just the neatest thing ever, and I hope my imperfect advice brings you some type of comfort or peace. And so the question is this: how do you set boundaries for women in your man's life? The way I could break that down is, I think the question is, how do you let your husband, boyfriend, significant other, wife, whomever your partner is, how do you set boundaries for the opposite sex so that they understand your relationship? So what I'm going to say is probably something that most won't want to hear because I really do speak from my heart, and I speak from experiences of my own, and I speak from a very confident heart. And so here's my advice to that. And it's so interesting because if the person who asked me this question could know how unbelievably relatable to this I am, they would be like, oh, okay, so here's a story. You know me. No, I'm not going to start with the story. I'm going to start with advice or my opinion. And here it is. So I happen to be a woman who, although I empower women and love them and my friends, and my core set, and my best friend is a man. He's been since we were in 5th grade. But I always tend to have I'm male predominant when it comes to friendships, because I think from a younger age there's always been it's just simpler. I don't like the drama. I don't want to talk about this person, that person. I don't like don't get me wrong, I won't mind a gossip story, but I don't want to, that's not what I'm about. That's not what I want to listen to. So being friends with men allows you to just not really, they're never talking about what someone's wearing, what some did, it's just easier for me. And that's just something what I've always done. So here's the thing. So if you are in a relationship with a man, I'm going to go with this avenue because I'm a woman, and they have a best friend or very good friends that are female. Let's face the facts here. They have probably been friends with those other women for years upon years, right? And what does that mean? That means they have been through the opportunity to be a couple, and it didn't work out that way. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that what is meant to be is meant to be. So if you are the love interest of your man and he has female friends, then you're his love interest. There should not have to be a boundaries in terms of you having to step up and step to the other woman, because that somehow to me feeds the ego of the man in a way that they crave that. And so you want to stop that cycle. So what I'm saying is, if they were meant to be in a relationship that was deeper than just a friendship, that would have already occurred, that would have already been, and you have no worries. Now, here's the other thing. I think if you're uncomfortable with your man's relationships with their female friends, it is up to them to create the boundary. Not a boundary where they have to dismiss the female from their life, because that's not fair to anybody. But they need to set a tone with you, their woman, that there is no reason that you should ever feel anything more than the friendship that they feel. He needs to make sure within you, he's instilled in you that you're his love interest, you're his partner, you're his intimate partner, and no one else. That's up to him. If he can't give that to you, then this is a slippery slope. This is where you have to say, then where am I at? What am I doing here? You know? So I have a couple stories, which I already said. So one is this. My significant other in this moment lived with his girlfriend for 5 years in another state. They left where we live. They moved to another state. They lived together for 5 years. Within that 5-year span, about maybe 3 years, I think he said, into the relationship, their love interest snapped. It broke. They no longer were in a intimate relationship, because there's difference. You could have you could have a very close, tight, the word just left my head, relationship with a man, but without intimacy. Because intimacy, who you choose to give yourself to, who you choose to have those tender moments with, that's your partner. Everybody else are your friends, you know what I mean? And there has to be, and your man has to give that to you. Your man has to let you know, not the other girl, because the other girl doesn't, she's looking at you like, listen, we've been friends for all these years, like, calm down. So anyway, my story goes back. So they break up 3.5 years, 3 years into their living away from home in another state relationship. They remained friends for 2 more years. They live as roommates. They came back here. It's been, I think, like 6 or 7 years now that they've been back here. However, I am new in his life. We've been together for about a year. We've been friends for many, many years, but she and he are best friends. Best friends. When she is upset, when she is down, when she is suffering with something, she calls him. And he'll look at me and I say, no, because he lets me know what role I play in our life, what role I play in their life. And so there's no worries for me. I don't ever go to sleep thinking something bad. I just don't, because he doesn't allow that from me. He gives me all the confidence I need as my person, as the man who loves me, to let me know that I'm that person to him. And she is important because she has been there for time, all the time. But I am strong in my person to know that friendship has a life, and it does not deserve to die because I am insecure about my man, you know? And so I strongly believe that if someone can step into your life, into your relationship, and take your man, your woman, then you have to, again, go deep into your soul and say, this hurts, but this is a reality. Because if true love exists, if it's there, if it's present, you'll feel it from him, you'll feel it from her, and you'll never question any of their exterior friendships, because that's friendship. You're their partner, their intimate partner, you know? So that's story number 1. Story number 2 is, recently in my life, a few years back, I met someone that we had a great relationship in terms of friendships. It was an intimate relationship at times. Mostly intimate, because that's, sometimes what you need to grow through things. But to the viewing public, we were a couple. But to us, we knew it was never, there was just something missing for both of us. Sometimes it was more missing for him. Sometimes it was more missing for me. But yet we could never really truly get to the same page to make this a working relationship. But our friendship was the most important thing to both of us. So he meets a girl and he says to me, oh, she's no big deal, whatever. I don't think she's the one so be it. And I proceed that way. I meet this girl and I'm not overly bubbly. I'm not overly friendly. I'm just kind of, because my friend, whom I love, tells me, this girl is nothing. I don't think she's anything. Well, guess what happens? Of course, this turns into the love of his life, the love of his current life. And they have moved exponentially into their relationship. It's beautiful. He is extremely happy. I am extremely happy for him. However, I set a tone that I am an enemy, and I'm not. She now believes I am interested in him. And it's just not what it is. If it was, it would be pursued that way. So now I'm at a loss. Now I am mourning a friendship based on his lack of ability to let her feel like she's number one in that way. And I'm sorry, I'm putting it on him because I've apologized. I've expressed myself. I've explained myself. And for whatever reasons, it's not good enough. And so be it, What bothers me down deep as a woman who has a powerful mind and I'm constantly trying to be understood, that's my biggest thing, is you have to understand what I'm saying, or do you get what I'm trying to convey? And by her asking for me to separate because I'm still have feelings, and me just respecting that boundary, because I'm not looking to be anyone's problem. But in my mind, for whatever reasons, because I am stepping away, I'm telling her she's right and that I do want her, and I don't. But that's a sad state of affairs, because now I'm mourning, a person that if I was meant to be with that man, or you're meant to be with that man, whomever's meant to be, will be there. You cannot change the path of your life in terms of who's placed there and who's placed not to be there. We tried. It didn't work. We are friends. But at this point, we are not friends because it makes her more comfortable that way. And I'm all the respect in the world for that. And I have no problems. And onward I go with my life, because that's just how life works. And as I said, I've always been predominantly male friend oriented, because I just don't like all the chaos, and I just like to just not have to deal with Susie's, all the things that a lot of women bring to the table. I just don't like it. So my advice and opinion is this: if you are with somebody who has a friend in their life that makes you uncomfortable, it is up to your partner to bring value to you and to let you know exactly where it all stands, who you are, who they are, what number in line you are. Obviously, to children, you never can take number one at this age. You're not going to ever be really number one in that aspect in their hearts when they have children, because that's a whole different thing. But a heart is, I was trying to explain that too. So a heart is parted, so my heart is 100% for my children. And then there's a half of, then you could separate that heart from the love interest heart. And that's confusing. But what I'm trying to say is, if your partner has children, you can't be number one. Their children has to be number one. However, if your partner has friends that they're saying are more important than you, then that is when you have to suck it up, buttercup, and you have to end it, because it is their responsibility to make you feel loved and to make you feel like you matter. If you pitch a bitch, if you start moaning about it and crying about it and arguing about it and then starting arguments with the female who's involved or the male, that's just, for what? For what? Find someone who will love you the way you want to be loved. Make a list. Write everything you want down. If what in this relationship, their friendships with other females is something that bothers you, write on your list. I will not accept a man that has many female friends. Write it. Affirmations are real. Speaking into the universe is real. And that's what I can say. I can say that you need to be secure in who you are. You need to take your power. You need to take the fact that he is intimate with you. That's your role. And know that that matters, you know? I always say this to friends, and I'm going to end this because I always try to do these smaller and I never do it. Here's what I say. A man could walk down the street with any woman. A man can go to lunch with a woman, dinner with a woman. A man can go to the movies, go shopping, go to the grocery store, take a hike, ride a bicycle. A man can do every single task there is with any woman on earth. However, when you have a committed partner, you are the one that he is choosing to be intimate with. And that relationship is the most important part of all the relationships. And that one trumps, hate that word, all the other relationships because you're his partner physically. And that's what separates you. And he needs to make you feel loved. And you need to know that your value stands within you. All right. I don't know if this was good advice. I don't know if this was bad advice. I just know that that's how I feel. I feel like it's up to him. And you should never go to bed at night wondering what number you are in a friendship line to the man or woman you're with. They have to make it obvious for you. Okay, I'm going to go. It's very early in the morning. No makeup face. About to start my day. I don't use filters. I don't do anything like that because I don't believe in it. I just think this is my face. All these marks and wrinkles are mine. I've earned them. I've earned them. So have a great day, ladies, men, anyone listening. And I appreciate this question so much, and I hope I've helped. Have a good night. Bye. Day.